Namaskaram.
Doctor, why we select moon as so many researchers? If there is any other planets like Venus, Jupiter, why moon we selected?
Yeah, actually, there is a basic mistake in what you are asking. Moon is not a planet; it's a satellite.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Number one. Number two, the moon is the only satellite for Earth. So definitely, the closest place other than space lab, where any person from Earth can reach is moon. All of you, if you have not heard about moon Hoax, have you heard about moon Hoax? It's a brilliant question.
No, doctor.
Yeah, what all of you should do is, you should go and look at what is moon Hoax. Do you know the spelling of Hoax? The other day I don't know whether you can Google DrTPS and Hoax, it will be there. Hoax, Hoax. Hoax means false story, misleading concept. Do you know long back means you have to check. I may not be very right on my numbers when I speak. Maybe 1835, I will check, so I am also writing. 1835, there was a published article in a science journal that is called the Great Moon Hoax. And they published an article saying that there are living creatures in the moon. They can fly, they are almost look like a human being. They can fly and travel across the places. And there are so many. You read all that. I don't have time to explain all that, and I don't even remember. Okay. And second great moon hoax was, do you know when it being very close to us, which country is the most scientific country during 1970s, 80s? Russia. All my books which I learned in mathematics during my MSc, the statistics book was written by Nadango. Nadango is a great statistician whose book I learned. We didn't even have an Indian author or American author or British author. We used to have lot of booksellers in Kerala where Russian books were sold. All the scientific books were coming from Russia, translated into English. So the first country who took some equipment which it was not really working, a man-made object, he wanted to say, not even an equipment, which was taken to moon in I think it is in 1959. You will have to check the year again. I am not very sure. I am only talking from my memory. And then that was called Luna. I remember the name. Luna was the project. The first project was a failure. Second project was success. And Luna 2 is 1959. It was a small object which was put there. Again in 1962 they could do it. No, America did it. 1962 America has sent an instrument. 1966 again America did. But then United States and USSR did again. USSR sent again. So that was a competition between America and USSR. There are only two countries, USSR, United States of America, and what is that? USSR, Soviet Russia. And it was lot of different small countries together, which got split into 1991. Maybe 1991. Yeah. Pardon?
Was that the Cold War between?
Yeah. So what has happened was, immediately America declared in 1969 Who was the first two people to land on the moon?
New Armstrong.
Yeah.
Armstrong.
That is the biggest false story of the whole world in science era. Nobody so far landed on moon. Do you think India's a camera, a smooth landing becomes a great event? The whole world, including Indians, including Americans, are seriously looking at how India is going to have a soft landing. And in 1969, two people landed on moon. Is it a fun? Is it a joke or not? Why are you not asking this question? This is what asked by the whole scientific community for a long time, and that is called moon hoax. So Google moon hoax, then you will know. So what had happened was, that was actually a false story created by Americans, and they fooled the whole world. And it is not once. Don't just learn the first person landed on moon. They did it in 1969, I think 2 times, 1971 again, 1972 also they did. America only did. Russia withdrew. They didn't do. They had sent some moon missions, which are some camera and some experiments, scientific experiments, etc. They have done, but that was not a full moon mission. That they have not done a full moon mission, but they have done something very close to a moon mission by Soviet Russia. So there were competition between them, and because of that they have clearly made some false stories. And the last one was, I think, in 2019 by Israel, and before that China has done in 2013. I am not very correct on these numbers sometimes, because in 2009 when India's moon mission landed on the moon, I was in America, I was in Delhi, and I was talking on All India Radio, asking questions from the public. Why did India spend this much money for sending and all that? So I remember all that data which I collected. I thought somebody will ask such questions, and I learned during that time. So the number may not be very correct. I don't have it ready reference. Okay, so check this. But these are all the story. So Rahul, being the first one, India, we have a Mars mission, but it is not landing on Mars. What we do is, even the Chandrayaan one was going around the moon to take pictures of the moon. Second one, we had 2 projects. One was going around the moon, that is still working. Data is still coming to India. ISRO is receiving a lot of data from the moon. Second one was a smooth landing which failed. The reason for failure is, the moon is not a flat terrain. It has got big ditches, lot of mountains. It is not, earlier in Malayalam poetry people keep saying Chandramukhi. Chandramukhi means the smooth, beautiful face. Now today, seeing the moon picture, if somebody says Chandramukhi, that means there are a lot of holes and pimples on the face. Correct. So don't call anybody. All that old Malayalam poetries should not be read now, because world has changed the shape of the moon. It is not as smooth and reflecting. It is not a smooth face when you say Chandramukhi. Correct. So landing on the moon was failed because there is a big ditch in which the equipment has fallen, and then it lost its connection and all the communication. Now the other day, the question which I had from Singh, the girl Bhavana Singh, during my lecture was, what do you wanted to say about the launching? Actually, there is nothing great about launching, because we have done so many. It's great, but we have nothing great to do, because we have done so many launches. The other day, when some of them, bye Bharat, one of the project was sending a small rocket to moon, everybody celebrated. That is just because some people who left ISRO started a private project, and those people have sent. Probably 50 years back we have done it already. They are only duplicating what earlier somebody has done inside ISRO. But outside ISRO, that was the first time. So celebrated. Similarly, earlier we were sending PSLV, which can take up to 800 kilometer height from the earth. GSLV can take up to 30,000 kilometer height. 30,000 kilometer height, that is where INSAT is placed. That is where geosynchronized satellite is taken. PSLV is remote sensing satellite is taken. So when these can be done easily, there is nothing great. Yeah, PSLV is Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. So I can take satellite to the pole because it is not thrown straight to the top. It is thrown from earth to down. How the satellite launching happens? Assume that I stand and look towards south and throw something from Hyderabad. It will come and then fall in Kerala. If I am so powerful to throw a stone, if I throw towards south, it will come and fall in Kerala. If I have more force, where it will go and fall? It will cross Kerala and then it will go and see in the Bay of Bengal or maybe Arabian Sea. If I throw with little more force, where it will go? It will cross Australia. And little more force, where it will go? It will go to the equator. Little more force if I throw, where it will go? It will go out of equator. Correct? More force, where it will go? It will go into the poles. The south pole it will go. So if it goes to south pole and it goes around the earth, that's how satellite is launched. So it's called a polar satellite. It goes around pole to pole, not exactly pole to pole, with a tilt of 9 degree, so that it can cover earth all the time, which will shift approximately sometime, and you can see the orbit will be like a wire a tin which I will use for covering earth. So the camera is on, earth is rotating, so every time I can take pictures all the places around the earth. That's what is remote sensing doing. What is geostationary? I want to have my satellite on top of me always, so when I speak, the message will go there, it will get landed in Assam. Somebody take a picture from Assam and then send it to satellite, I can send it to Kerala. Every time satellite is like a mirror reflecting there. Correct? If I can send something to 30,000, from there to send it to moon is not a big job. I need fuel, the cryogenic what you were asking the other day. I need to push it across out of environment, out of the atmosphere. It is only maneuvering, controlling the injecting into the right orbit, so that automatically with the weight control it will go and stay somewhere else. It's called the universal gravity. Every planet has got a gravity. It pulls wherever it is being balanced. The weight of the satellite will decide where it will go and stay. That is how it is sent to the moon orbit, orbiting around the moon. Okay.
Communications at 12 plus. Communications at 12 plus. I don't understand that concept.
The communication satellite INSAT is called the communication satellite because it is allowing you to talk. All the telecommunication, all the TV channels, everything is working satellite communication. You can see when the television comes, they have an antenna which will tell you which angle you have to place, because you are looking at INSAT 1, 2, 3, 4 different INSAT is there. If my ZTV is working based on INSAT 3B, my antenna of ZTV should reflect from that direction. So it's all coming from satellite. That's why it is called the communication satellites. Yeah.